Should the first lady of a country be from that country? And do big political families help or hurt democracy when we, the people, are the ones paying the bills? Let's dive into the Bacchanal. This is Bacchanal Buzz Media. Let the legacy wars begin. We starting off number 5 smooth with El Presidente himself, Luis Rodolfo Abinader Corona of the Dominican Republic. He's not flooding the gene pool like some others on this list, but make no mistake, the man's got legacy. Together with his wife, Raquel Arbage, they've raised 3 lovely daughters. Dominican luxury with a sprinkle of Lebanese finesse. Raquel herself comes from a respected Lebanese business family, and the Abinaders carry that blend of Caribbean warmth and Middle Eastern sophistication like pros. So yes, the future's in polished hands. Pros, stable marriage, tight-knit family, 0 baby mama headlines. Con, only 3 kids, but hey, sometimes it's quality over quantity. The Dominican Republic's fertility rate sits at 2.25 births per woman. So Luis is actually keeping pace with the national average, just with more class and less chaos. Abinader's been in office since 2020, and he's already gearing up for a second run, and that's stamina. Just maybe not the same kind of stamina as some of the Caribbean superbreeders higher on this countdown. Number 4, John Antonio Briceño. 3 sons plus 1 granddaughter. It's Johnny B, Prime Minister of Belize, and unofficial Caribbean grandfather-in-chief. While some leaders on this list still chasing toddlers, Johnny's already graduated to granddad status. With his wife Rosanna, they've raised 3 sons, Daniel, John, and Andre. And now the next generation's already rolling in with baby Celeste, their first granddaughter. That's legacy in motion. And let's give a shout out to Rosanna Briceño, not just Belize's first lady, but the real boss at home. Johnny once joked that Rosanna still tells me to wash dishes. Imagine running a country and still getting kitchen duties? That's not just leadership, that's married life with seasoning. Pros, grounded, low-key family man. Gives off strong, I'm still your dad even if I run Belize energy. Con, not the flashiest or most extravagant lifestyle. But hey, the love is real and the grocery bill's still climbing. Johnny's been prime minister since 2020, and for context, Belize's fertility rate is now around 1.99 births per woman. So Johnny's 3 sons already put him ahead of the curve. Add in a granddaughter? Man's thriving. Number 3, Gaston Brown, Antigua and Barbuda. 5 kids. Now we're shifting gears. Antigua and Barbuda's Gaston Alfonso Brown isn't just leading a nation. He's building a dynasty, 5 kids deep, and counting. At 57 years old, Gaston is not slowing down. His wife, Maria Bird Brown, is 34. That's a classic May December love story with a heavy dose of political strategy. Why? Because Maria isn't just young and ambitious. She's also the niece of former Prime Minister Lester Bird. That's not just romance, that's Caribbean chess. Together, they have 2 children. Prince Gaston Brown, yes, Prince is his actual name. Royal ambitions from birth. Peace Marie Zandra, a name that screams elegance and UN summit invitations. Add 3 more kids from Gaston's earlier years, and you've got a full 5-piece family roster. Basically a national football squad with substitutions. He was born February 9th, 1967. But honestly, that haircut looked like it came straight out of a World War II documentary. Gaston's out here serving Third Reich realness in the 21st century. But somehow, even with a cut that screams dictator starter pack, he's got a younger wife than half the soca scene. Power really is the best cologne. But don't let the tailored suits, beachfront selfies, or gated community aesthetic fool you. Gaston's story is real. He grew up in the rough community of Point, raised by a single mother, grinding his way through life. He worked construction, sold fruits on the street, and studied finance at night while working during the day. This man didn't inherit power. He hustled his way into it. Now, he's got a younger wife, a growing political legacy, and a son named Prince. That's what we call from point to prince. Literal upgrade. Of course, that royal lifestyle doesn't pay for itself. And while Gaston flexes luxury, big business, and bold speeches, remember, somebody's footing the bill. Hint, it's the taxpayers. But when you're raising future leaders in a country where the fertility rate is just 1.94 births per woman, Gaston is doing more than his national average for the population and the headlines. At number 2, Ralph Gonsalves of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with 5 Pickney. Here comes the OG, the godfather of Caribbean politics, Comrade Ralph himself. Ralph Everard Gonsalves has been Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines since 2001. That's over 2 decades of leadership, outlasting 5 U.S. presidents and several Caribbean prime ministers. He didn't just build a career, he built an era. Born August 8, 1946 into a wealthy Portuguese farming family, Ralph had a foundation most didn't, but he leveraged it well. Armed with a legal mind, political cunning, and an unmatched ability to rally supporters, he's kept a grip on power through persistence and strategy, not just popularity. And when it comes to building a legacy, Ralph didn't come to play. He's been married twice. First to Sonia Gonsalves, a Jamaican academic. Together, they had Camilo and Adam. He's now married to Eloise Harris, a proud Trinidadian with 3 more children, Storm, Isis, and Soleil. Yes, those are their real names. And no, that's not a cast list from a superhero franchise. But maybe it should be. Now enter the heir apparent, Camilo Gonsalves. Born in Philadelphia, USA, raised partly abroad, and now Minister of Finance in his father's cabinet. It's no secret Ralph has been grooming him for the top job, and with the weak state of the opposition, that seems more and more likely. But here's where the story gets complicated. Many Vincentians have raised concerns. Should the next leader of SVG really be someone who wasn't even born there? It's not just about Camilo's resume. It's about national pride, identity, and representation. In a small country where every village counts, birthplace matters. And while Camilo has renounced U.S. citizenship and pledged loyalty to SVG, critics say the island deserves a leader born and bred in the soil, not just appointed by bloodline. Add to that Ralph's firm rejection of term limits, and the picture gets even murkier. Back in 2009, his government proposed a new constitution that would have expanded prime ministerial powers. It was rejected by voters. Yet Ralph kept marching on, winning election after election, while the opposition struggled to present a viable alternative. It's not just dominance, it's dynastic rule in slow motion. And of course, as a devout Catholic, Ralph made sure to follow protocol. After separating from his first wife, he didn't file for divorce. He went one step further, got the marriage annulled. In Catholic terms, that means the first union never spiritually existed. And yes, in 2013, he met Pope Francis during a private audience at the Vatican. That's more than faith, that's global reach. As of 2022, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has a fertility rate of 2.7 births per woman, one of the highest in the region. Ralph Gonsalves has contributed 5 of his own. But it's not just population he's building, it's a political dynasty. 5 kids, 2 wives, 1 son poised for the throne. From law school to longevity, from parliament to pope, Ralph Gonsalves isn't just raising a family, he's designing the future of the nation. Whether voters agree with that blueprint, that's a whole different story. And finally, we reach the top of the list, and it's none other than the Bahamian Braveheart himself, Prime Minister Philip Edward Brave Davis. Born in 1951 on Cat Island, Brave came from humble beginnings. The eldest of 8 children, he was raised by a firefighter father and a housekeeper mother, a working-class Caribbean upbringing, where faith, discipline, and family held the home together. He didn't come from privilege, but that didn't stop him. He rose through the ranks to become one of the top lawyers in the Bahamas, eventually stepping into politics with the Progressive Liberal Party. And while he officially became Prime Minister in September 2021, don't be fooled. Brave is a political veteran with decades of experience in cabinet, parliament, and party leadership. But let's talk family, because that's why he's number 1. It's widely reported that Brave Davis has 6 children, but here's where it gets foggy. His current wife, Anne-Marie Davis, a sharp trainee accountant trained in London, is often credited with 2 of those kids, which begs the question where the other 4 come from. Some reports say he had kids from a previous relationship, maybe even 2. Others just keep it vague, saying together they raised 6. Amory got that CPA designation, polished posture, and full charity calendar. I doubt she was running a 6-child daycare at home while balancing spreadsheets. And let's be real, in the Caribbean, if a PM had 4 baby mothers, we'd know. It would be on WhatsApp before the ink dried. So if you know who the mystery mama is, or how the 6 kids are split, drop it in the comments. Brave's official image is still clean though. Even if they came from a previous chapter, he claimed, named, and raised all of them under one roof. That still counts for something. His wife, Amory Davis, and surprise, surprise, she's Trinidadian. Not just any Trini, either. She's a chartered accountant, trained in London, sharp with the numbers, polished in presentation, and now serving as a key figure in national outreach and advocacy work beside her husband. Amory has become a familiar face at his side, attending state functions, heading charity efforts, and holding it down with grace, class, and Caribbean flair. So let's give credit where it's due. Brave Davis wins for loyalty, longevity, and low drama. The man raised 6 children and climbed from Cat Island to the country's top job. But still, he really couldn't find a Bahamian queen. The Trinidad-Tobago invasion strikes again. From Vinci to the Bahamas, Trinidadian women out here claiming First Lady spots like carnival prizes. And just to put this in perspective, the fertility rate in the Bahamas is now just 1.38 births per woman, one of the lowest in the Caribbean. So Brave didn't just beat the average. He doubled it, and did it with consistency, structure, and 0 baby mama press releases. Let's recap. 6 kids, one of the lowest national fertility rates, no side drama, and still standing strong in office. Brave may not have the youngest wife, the wildest name choices, or a son managing the country's money. But what he does have is stability, staying power, and a solid household. In a region known for flamboyant leaders and messy legacies, Philip Brave Davis and his wife proves that sometimes the most powerful legacy is the quiet, faithful one. From baby bottles to ballots, this was the Caribbean's most fertile leaders. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell us, should love be local when you lead a nation? Thanks for watching, and please abstain from baby making out of marriage.